Mopping in the rain is hard regardless of the place. You may need to mop outside your house or the floor inside your house. If it is showering heavily outside your house, mopping is kind of impossible as there will be a continuous flow of water over the surface you are mopping. 2 methods to mop in the rain do it perfectly. Method 1. Basic mopping in the rain. This method is almost similar to the normal mopping that you do during a nice and dry day. However, there are slight differences in it from a normal one that makes this method effective even when it is raining outside. You just have to follow the steps mentioned below. Step 1. Preparations. Before going into the war against the dust and dirt of your floor, you are going to need the following war tools: mop, bucket, water, cleaning solution or fresh water, dry cloth or another dry mop, vacuum cleaner, fans. Step 2. Use a vacuum cleaner. If your floor is not that wet or outside rain doesn't affect your floor much, you are blessed. Start cleaning your house with a vacuum cleaner right away. In this way, you will be able to get most of the visible dirt and dust out of your floor. While using a vacuum cleaner, remember to use the floor attachment. It will help you get your job done effectively. If you don't have a vacuum cleaner, no worries. You can just do the cleaning with your dry mop. It will also help your cause. Step 3. Give the floor a first mopping. Mopping on rainy days is always different from that of the dry seasons. It is hard to keep the floor clean as the weather itself is somewhat wet. For this reason, you have to do this additional step to perfectly clean your floor with a mop. You will just need a bucket full of fresh water and a dry mop. Dip the mop in the water and start from a corner of the floor. After every 2 or 3 sweeps, dip the mop in the water again to clean off the dirt that your mop gathered. Try to cover all the areas of your floor. That's it. You have given your floor the first mopping. In this way, you will have almost done the cleaning. Step 4. Use the cleaning solution. Giving your floor a first mopping is not always necessary, especially when you are in a hurry. In such circumstances, directly head to this step after step 2. It is time to use the cleaning solution to clean the floor properly to get rid of dust, dirt, and germs. You may use a dedicated cleaning solution for your specific floor type. If you can't manage to have that, you can even create your cleaning solution. The cleaning solution consisting of the following ingredients and ratio will be just enough for normal floor cleaning. 2 cups water, 1/8 tablespoon dish soap, 1/4 cup rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, 1/2 cup white vinegar, distilled. Again, if you don't have to rub alcohol, you can create your cleaning solution without it. Dip the mop in the cleaning solution. Sweep the mop over your floor carefully. After 2 or 3 sweeps, dip the mop in the cleaning solution again. Do this process till you have mopped your entire floor. One pro tip here. The amount of liquid you are getting after each dip with your mop should neither be excessive nor be too minimal. Step 5. Use dry cloth. You will often see people not suggesting using a dry cloth after the cleaning. But you should use a dry cloth or a dry mop over the entire floor. The reason you should do this is to give the ventilation process a heads up. After taking out most of the residue of the cleaning solution with this dry mopping, fans won't have to work their life off to dry the floor. Step 6. Let the floor dry. Now all you have to do is to leave the floor on its own to dry. If there is a good ventilation system, the windows and doors are all open, it should not take more than 10 minutes to let the floor dry after a dry mop over. However, in the rainy season, depending on the weather, you may have to wait for an entire hour to let the floor dry itself. You can do another thing. Turn on the ceiling fan. If the fan covers a good overall area, you may see the floor becoming dry after just 3 to 5 minutes. If you don't have a ceiling fan, you can use multiple table fans also to get the job done. Method 2. Quick mopping method in rain. Method 1 was about the normal or general cleaning method with a mop in the rain. What if there are people continuously entering or leaving your house at regular intervals? The normal mopping method won't work in those situations. What to do then? There comes the method 2, aka the quick mopping method in rain. Step 1. Use the rainwater. This is a very clever idea. You can't run for fresh water every time you do the mopping, as you have to frequently mop your floor in this particular situation. Put a bucket outside of your house to store rainwater. You may use the rainwater to create the solution or flood the floor with it. Flooding the floor is important for 2 reasons. Firstly, there may be mud brought up by people who entered the house. Secondly, flooding the floor will make things happen quickly, as you don't need to dry mop or normally mop the entire floor. However, you should not flood the floor with water if there are furniture and electrical appliances on your floor. Step 2. Give the floor a quick mopping. Take the mop, dip it in the cleaning solution or fresh water, and start mopping the floor with it. That's how you should do it. You can avoid the cleaning solution if you don't have any or no time to create one by yourself. Continue until you are done with the whole floor. Step 3. Use a dry mop. After the first mopping, you must use a dry mop. Unlike normal mopping, it is mandatory, because by doing a dry mopping, you will be able to do things very quickly. Step 4. Use multiple fans. At last, finish the mopping by making the floor dry with the help of multiple fans. If you don't have multiple fans, a ceiling fan will get the job done also. 3 problems you may face while mopping in the rain. As I've already mentioned, it is not a piece of cake to do the mopping in the rain. For this very reason, you may have to face some problems while performing such action. The following are the most probable problems that you may encounter. Beware of these problems so that you don't have to face hassles afterward. 1. Need of mopping the floor again and again. On rainy days, in most cases, you will see that the floor becomes dirty too often. You don't have any option but to mop the floor again in that situation. And I can't suggest any remedy for this problem either. I mean, you can't fight against nature, right? However, you can do one thing. Make the mopping tools ready to go whenever you need them. By doing so, you won't need to search for the tools when you feel that your floor needs mopping. 2. More time to dry the floor. If you see that your house floor keeps getting wet due to the rain happening outside, don't be surprised. It is very common during rainy days. But this issue leads you to another problem. Due to the wet nature of the floor, it will take more time than the average to get the floor dried after each mopping. Even if your floor does not become that wet, you may still see that the floor takes a little bit more time to dry after giving it a mopping. 3. Sudden falls. This is the most common problem that you may face while mopping in the rain. As it takes a little bit more time to dry the floor, you may not remember the ideal time when the floor is supposed to become dry. That is why you or other members of the house may fall to the floor due to its slipperiness. Always beware of the fact that you are mopping the house in the rain, and it takes a little longer to make the floor dry. So, be alert and keep patience.